Once again, welcome to Academy of Scholarships and Transitions, where we discuss scholarship opportunities and talk about life-changing principles that will move you from your comfort zone to where you ought to be in life. You can accelerate your journey to career success and to a scholarship just by following this page. Now, today we want to continue with our series on what you need to do as a person when you get to your foreign destination for studies. And today, I want to talk about two things that will help you achieve a good result in the place you are going to. Number one is anti-plagiarism. In developed countries, everything you do as a student, whether it's assignments, whether it's your thesis, whether it's a project, whether it's a report, whether it's anything, is going to be subjected to anti-plagiarism test. And once you fail the anti-plagiarism tests, that work will not be accepted by the teacher. It's not going to be accepted by the school. And in fact, in some instances, you will be called to face a panel to explain why you copied someone's work. If you are not used to writing your work by yourself, or you do not understand what plagiarism is, you might need to look this up before you travel out. And if you can't look it up by yourself, once you get to your destination, find a senior student who has been in that school and ask the person questions about plagiarism and about anti-plagiarism. The other part of it is you must be careful about who you show your work to or who you give your work to. This is not to say that you can't show your work to your friends to see the structure of it and learn how they should structure theirs. But there are some persons who are more interested in copying than learning how the work is done. You must be very careful about those people. I know of a case in my school where a student had written I think it was a coursework, and then that course was to be graded based on that coursework and not an exam. So after the coursework, one of her colleagues saw it or had access to the work, copied maybe everything or a significant part of the work, submitted. The two of them had to fail that course and then had to repeat it. So avoid these things. Now, there are a couple of tools out there that will help you to reference people's work properly. There are a couple of tools out there that will help your paraphrasing of sentences and paraphrasing of work, in order not to fall into the plagiarism situation. You can look at Quillbox. You can look for, most schools abroad, I think, should have access to one of the referencing tools. In my school, I use RefWorks for referencing. Yeah, but the key thing is understand what plagiarism is, and if you can't figure it out yourself, ask questions, because it's going to draw you back if you fall into plagiarism situations. Excuse me. Now, the second part of what you need to do in order to be very successful in your studies abroad is understand the grading scheme. Every course will have its own specific grading scheme. And sometimes when you get to a school, the first time the lecturer comes in, the lecturer might actually tell you what you need to do in order to succeed in this course. That if you do this, if you meet this expectation, you have a B. If you meet this expectation, you have a C. If you meet this expectation, you have an A. And I will always advise people to aim for the highest possible mark. Target the A. If you are not able to hit the A, then you hit a B. But if you target a C, for instance, you might miss the C and then you land somewhere in a D, which might not be what you really want for yourself. If the lecturer does not discuss it in the class, feel free to reach out to the lecturer to ask questions and be like, so I want to understand what things are required for me to do in order to succeed in this course. Most lecturers are going to give you listening ears, and they're going to share those details with you. Now, the same applies to every coursework you submit. So if you are submitting a coursework that is supposed to have a long section of literature review, then you need to understand that long section of literature review might carry higher points. And again, the grading system for each of those courseworks will always be known by the lecturer. And in my school, for instance, I know that this is shared very freely with students. Again, if you have to write a particular number of words, don't exceed it and don't go below it. Stay within the range that is recommended by your lecturer, because sometimes you lose points for going outside that range, right? Then, if you want a first class from your studies, then you should talk to your course coordinator to understand the requirements. In some schools, you need to have like maybe 4 A's out of 6 courses. You might need to have 6 A's out of 9 courses. You might need to say not have a C in any of the courses, things like that. But you need to clarify these things as early as possible. The earlier you do it, the better for you. So while the rest of the students are busy taking pictures and touring the city, try to spend your first few weeks getting these understandings alongside the touring of the cities. Of course, it's very important to know the city in which you are, but don't let the enjoyment part take out the core component of your traveling abroad as a student. So 3 things: plagiarism, avoid it. Understand the grading system of every course that you are going to take, the requirements for making an A in all of them. Of course, we don't talk about C's here. Target A in all the things that you do. Then thirdly, understand the general requirements for a first class, for a second class, or for any grade that you are targeting. I personally do not aim for a second class whenever I go into a school. I aim for the best. I aim for A's. I aim for the first class. This is not to, talk down the other grades, but the point is, aim the highest. And if you aim the highest and put in the right amount of work, you will always get there. Having a first class abroad is pretty much a very easy thing to achieve. Go for it. And remember that Academy of Scholarships and Transitions is also on YouTube. And please just give us a subscription there. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers there. Please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, watch the videos, invite your friends, and I will see you in the next session. Remember, I made a promise to talk to you about money, and I have not forgotten that. There is money to be made abroad, and you should be part of those who will be making that money when you come. For now, goodbye from this end. See you next time.